Hello, Sammy. I came across your channel yesterday for the first time when a video appeared in my suggestion list by Bearing, and I watched Bearing's video about you on your video feminism, and I followed the link to take a look at your, take a look at your channel and the video he was poning, I guess is the word. Um, and I noticed you posted another video saying that you were going to reply to Bearing and all of his subscribers. You were going to do that tomorrow, which is today. And I figured, you know what, I'm just going to wait and see what she has to say. Well, I've just got through watching your video responding to all the hate from the Bearing subscribers attack, which is a weird title, but okay, because it's not quite grammatically correct, but that's not really important. Um, Anyhow, I watched that video and there are some portions I disagree with that I feel like I have to comment on. Now, let me start off by saying I'm a gender egalitarian. I used to identify as a men's rights activist years ago. However, men's rights activism is like it's supposed to be equality for men. The whole idea, the whole premise here is society treats men unfair and someone needs to stand up and make things different. We need to fight for equality. And I was like, that's a great idea. I believe in egalitarianism. I believe men should be fighting for equality because I believe we live in a society where men are disadvantaged. Um, However, I became quickly disillusioned with the men's rights movement because I found that while they were saying we're about equal rights for men, half of them, maybe more than half of them, were actually pushing for old-fashioned, outdated, traditional gender roles. Men do all the work, pay all the bills. Women stay home and just pop out babies. Um, they're very, they're very much like Rush Limbaugh and Archie Bunker. They're these old-fashioned Republican types who want to go back to old-fashioned traditional gender roles. Well, one problem I have with that is it doesn't work out very good for men to try to reestablish old-fashioned gender roles in this day and age. In fact, I think a lot of doing that is what is backfiring and actually disadvantaging men today. Secondly, I don't think it's really possible to really and truly go back and try to live that old-fashioned way of life in this day and age. I don't think it's reasonable to try doing that. Too many things have changed for us to go back like that. So while they were saying we're in favor of equality, that was like their dictionary definition. You know, we're fighting for equality. What I've seen too much of is that they're fighting for old-fashioned traditional gender roles or patriarchy. So I became very disillusioned with that movement and just really quit calling myself a men's rights activist years ago. Um, So I hear you reading that feminism isn't a hate movement because the dictionary definition says it's a fight for equality. Yeah, well, I have a problem with that, and it's the same problem I had with the men's rights movement. What the dictionary definition is not what's actually taking place. And we can say that not all feminists are like that, not all men's rights activists are like that, but in both cases, way, way, way too many of them are. Too many of them are pushing for something which is not equality, but they're hiding their agenda behind the definition that their movement stands for equality. So that's the first problem I have. And it's why I call myself a gender egalitarian. I briefly called myself MGTOW, which is men going their own way, which is a phenomenon that has changed throughout the years. It started off as meaning um, I don't know, some right wing stuff like what was it? Masculine men, feminine women, limited government. That's what it used to mean like back in 2004. And then other people came around like Barbarossa who used that label, men going their own way, as a platform to preach his ideas, which then took off and radically changed what MGTOW is. I was very inspired by people like Barbarossa and Razorblade Candy and a few others, but eventually I just kind of got out of the whole MGTOW thing. I've got some reasons for that, but I don't feel like going into that. My point is, I call myself a gender egalitarian because the men's rights movement and the feminist movement, which both claim they're fighting for equality, neither is really fighting for equality. And so I can't be either one. Anyhow, I want to comment on some other things you said in your video.
In the same way, um, ethically and morally, without using the all-covering term feminism. I personally stand for equality of all sexes, races, and religions. I absolutely don't hate men. I don't think women are better than men. I think we are just as important. A popular question is, why isn't it called equalism? I didn't know this, so I had to look it up because I didn't invent the name. But I looked it up. The reason why it's called feminism while advocating for gender equality is because females are the gender that are the underprivileged, underserved gender.
The problem I have with that is that I believe men are the underprivileged gender or sex because gender is an expression, sex is biology. Anyhow, um, so you and I don't see eye to eye on that. Like, I think men are underprivileged and need to fight for equality. You assume that women are the underprivileged and need to fight for equality. So, there's a big issue right there. Now, I do support gender egalitarianism in the sense that I believe both men and women should work equally. They should be paid equally for their work. I believe they should both have the same amount of, they should both raise children equally. I'm against this whole traditional thing of men do the work, women stay home and raise the babies. I think this really ends up working against men. How was it once explained? It was once explained like if if women are doing all the child rearing, when it comes time for a divorce, whoever did all the child rearing is going to get the kids in the custody battle.
Gotten a lot of comments saying that I'm playing the victim, and I really, really don't understand why. I'm owning up to my shit. I take what you guys say into consideration and I explain myself. Is that not the most mature thing I could do? Getting so much hate so out of the blue. Having all my videos disliked 800 times. I think I deserve a little respect from not just closing my channel and crying in a corner. And some people have asked, why don't I just delete my channel? Well, the first reason is that I have a lot of videos up. Many of them I worked really hard on, and I like looking back at them. I can look back at different stages of my life and see how much I've grown. And the second reason is that while Bering's video is still up, no one would ever get to see things from my point of view. I wouldn't get the chance to explain myself and prove that I'm not the crazy bitch I seem to be in that video. Also, I haven't asked Bering to remove the video, and I don't think he should.
This right here is very mature of you, and it's more mature than most feminists are, because most feminists, or I should say way too many of them, because I can't actually give you a statistic and say most, but way too many of them really have this attitude of our viewpoint is the only good and proper viewpoint, and all other viewpoints are wrong, they're lies, they're bigotry, and must be shut down and censored. You have this idea that people are allowed to speak their opinions and people are allowed to have opinions about other people's opinions and so on. I think that's very fair. So, if you're going to continue using the name feminist to describe yourself, then you're one of the few good ones, I would say. But I also have some issues with what was going on in those past videos that led up to all of this. So I would like to explore those older videos, the one where you ask, why do you even care what my haircut is, and the one entitled Feminism, where you rant about feminism. I want to go into those videos.
I made this video a couple of days ago, and to my surprise, it has gotten quite a lot of dislikes. This video, however, has gotten me several hundred subscribers, lots of likes, and over 100,000 views. Now, in this video, I am goofing around, making jokes, and most importantly, showing some boob skin. I made this video for entertainment purposes because I am an entertainer and I've been all my adult life. In this video, however, I am talking about how hurtful and fucked up it is when people, without you asking, say to you, "You were prettier before. Girls should have long hair. You're destroying your body with these ugly tattoos," etc. Again, look at this. I guess a woman having boobs is more preferable than a woman having opinions.
Okay, that is complete bullshit. If this statement was made in regards to the fact that your boob video got more positive ratings than your other video, the reason is simple. Your opinions were you just whining and acting like a spoiled child. It's not that a woman can't have her opinions valued, it's that your opinions were stupid and whiny. You were essentially bitching about some guy didn't like your haircut. You acted so stupid and childish in that video. In fact, I'll be showing a clip of exactly what I mean. If you were referring to the fact your boob video got more views, are you really surprised that people took a look at a video with a thumbnail of your boobs and the word taping your boobs in the title? They looked at that more than some other video? Are you surprised about that? You don't get to bitch about objectification. You chose the topic, and the title, and the thumbnail, knowing this would draw male attention. You showed off your boob skin, as you put it, and you did it for the views, as you have admitted. You're the one that made a spectacle of your breasts. If there was any objectification, it was you objectifying women by showing off your boobs for attention. You don't get to make a spectacle of your breasts and then bitch when men look at your breasts. Heterosexual men are instinctively attracted to breasts. If you have a problem with that, then you have a problem with men. Men didn't choose to be obsessed with breasts. Men are born that way. Again, if you have a problem with it, you have a problem with men.
This hair grew out of my head. It stuck. My hair. I paid for all of my tattoos with my own money. Why do you care?
Okay, here's what gets me. You made a video about getting your hair cut. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care that you got your hair cut. I'm willing to bet most people on this planet don't care that you got a haircut. There was no need to tell us that you got a haircut. There was no need for you to go make a video about your stupid haircut that nobody gives a fuck about. But you wanted us to care. It's why you made a video and said, "Look at me, everybody. Look at my haircut, everybody. Does everybody see my haircut?" So basically, you're asking us to care when you make a video about your stupid haircut. You know what else I don't care about? I don't care about your period. I don't care if you're having your period. But if you make a video saying, "Oh, I got my period. Look at my bloody tampon, everybody," and someone goes, "Ew, that's gross," you would then turn around and go, "Why do you care? Why do you even care about my period?" This is what you're doing. You're bringing something to our attention. Again, you're bringing something to our attention and then saying, "Why do you even care?" Well, people who tune into your channel care because you brought it up to us. Let's face it, the issue here isn't that we care. The issue is we didn't give you praise. If you made a video saying, "Look at my new haircut, everybody," and everybody said, "Oh my God, it's the most beautiful haircut in the world. You look so beautiful. I love it." If everyone said that, you wouldn't have made this video. The only reason you made this video is because a few people made some negative comments about it, and that's the real issue. You got a little bit of negative criticism, and then you turn around and say, hey, this is my body. My hair grows out of my head. It's part of me. I paid for these tattoos. How dare you judge? What you really mean to say is, how dare you have a negative opinion? You're only allowed to have positive opinions of me. You can't have negative opinions of me. This is what you're doing. And then you're making it look like the audience was bad for looking at you because us evil men are objectifying you. And that is what really burns me up. You made a video because you're upset because you can't handle criticism. You then, instead of acknowledging this, instead of taking the criticism, instead of acknowledging you have an inability to handle criticism, you turn this around when everyone else, like, you people are wrong because you're objectifying me. Shame on you. That's what you're doing, and it's very, very insulting.
So, fuck you, old lady I don't know, for making fun of my hair and laughing in my face. Fuck you, certain family members, for saying, oh my god, no, what did you do, the second you see me.
In other words, fuck everybody who has a negative opinion about the way you choose to style yourself.
I mean, honestly, how is this affecting you? How is it affecting your life? Please explain that to me. Why do you care? And anyway, thank you to my mom for constantly saying how badass I look and for telling me every day that I'm beautiful. Thank you to my best friend. Even though you had terror in your eyes when you saw my face, you didn't say anything. So thanks. Thanks, Grandma, for not outing your opinion in my face before I asked you what your opinion was. And thanks to everyone else who has complimented me on my hair.
Yeah, thanks for compliments. But when you have a negative opinion, fuck you for objectifying me. You shouldn't even care.
Also, fuck that guy who commented on my I cut my hair video. First, he commented on two of my other videos saying, "Oh, you're so beautiful, you're really hot," and on the video where I showed my hair, my new hair, this hair, it said, "You're better with long hair." Fuck you! Fuck you! No, I am better how I feel better. You don't get to decide what I look best in.
Notice how bad his English was, and then notice how bad her English is. There's just something funny about two people arguing in English and doing it really bad.
I didn't ask for your opinion.
Actually, you did ask for his opinion. You asked for everyone's opinion when you decided to make a video all about your stupid goddamn fucking haircut that no one actually gives a flying fuck about, but you're like, look at me, look at my haircut, look at it everybody, look at my haircut. Well, when you make a video about your fucking haircut, you are actually asking people to have an opinion on it. You act like you can show something off and expect some positive comments in return, and that's fine, but no one's allowed to have negative comments? That's like me um, painting a picture and then showing it off at an art gallery and saying, everyone's free to come here and enjoy how awesome my painting is and tell me so, but no one's allowed to not like it. Everyone has to like it. If you don't like it, don't say anything, but if you like it, shower me with praise. How narcissistic is that? And that is what you're doing because you're like, I didn't ask you for negative input. But when people complimented you, you're like, oh, thank you. You're just being narcissistic.
Again, look at this. I guess a woman having boobs is more preferable than a woman having opinions. Of course, this kind of mindset is perfectly normal and acceptable.
Here you are going all feminist. Why? Because you're too much of a narcissist. to handle criticism. Everybody in the world has to praise you. No one's allowed to have a negative opinion of you or anything you do. That's called narcissism. And you're such a narcissist that instead of acknowledging criticism, you have to turn this around into you men are being pigs. You're objectifying us. And you go all feminist. Why? Because you can't handle people having opinions when you didn't give us permission to have opinions. I think that's some pretty low class shit. I really do, because you're getting into some socio-political shit right now where you're advocating for feminism, which is a bigoted, hateful movement. Your former belief that it was all about being angry and hateful. Guess what, honey? You were right back then. It really is. And now here you are going in that direction, all because you have issues with the way you look, which is why all of your videos are screaming, look at me. Look at me, everybody. Look at me. All of your videos are about how you look. Well, most of your videos are about how you look. And so you have issues with how you look. And you can't handle anyone having an opinion of you that you didn't give us permission to have. And because this is so narcissistic and indefensible, you have to turn this into a political statement about the way men view women. Men view women as objects. They love our boobs, but as women, we can't have opinions. I'm sorry, but that's a very dishonest thing you're doing, and it's very insulting.
If we find a time machine and travel a couple of hundred years back? Hey, I'll let you know a really embarrassing fact about me. If you would have asked me 4 years ago what my thoughts on feminism were, I would have said that I hated feminists. They're just man-hating women who are angry at everything and oh my god, so annoying. And this actually was my thoughts on feminism. Because I was too fucking dumb to learn about what I was actually talking about. Feminism means equality. Feminism means not just women, but everyone. No matter gender, skin color, religion, or sexual orientation, should be treated with the same kind of goddamn respect.
No, it isn't. Feminism does nothing to make things equal and fair for men. Feminism is a bunch of women with issues about men. They're just angry at men, and they're whining and saying, I'm a victim. Us women are victims of you horrible, horrible men. And that's all it is. Whining women looking for excuses to call women victims of men. And that's all it is. In fact, you're doing that right now. You made a video saying, look at my haircut. And so you expect your audience to care about your haircut. Someone made a nice statement. They said, well, I prefer the way you looked before. It wasn't even a rude statement. It was just giving an honest opinion. And suddenly you go, wah, I am a victim of male objectification or female objectification from the male gaze. Men are looking and judging me like an object. Wah, I'm a victim. Wah. That's what you're doing. You're trying to be a victim because you don't have the maturity to handle people having a polite, honest opinion that you disagree with. Someone said you looked better the way your hair was before, and you have a fucking tantrum like a child about it. I mean, look at this.
It really means a lot because I like it. My hair grew out of my head. It stuck to me. So, I think I will make the decisions.
Look at the way you are. I mean, this is silly. You're you're acting like a child having a tantrum. Someone said, I like the way your hair looked before, and you have to act like this because you can't handle criticism. So you're acting like a child having a tantrum. And then rather than having the ability to acknowledge that you're acting childish over something, you then have to feign moral indignation, I believe it's called. You have to feign that by hiding behind the righteous pretense of feminism. Men look at us and objectify us. Wah! We need feminism. Wah! All because you're too childish to have someone politely tell you they prefer the way your hair used to look. That is childish.
I think I will make the decisions. If you watch my videos for a while, you know that my purpose in life is to be happy.
Kinda off topic, but you might want to change your purpose in life. Everybody I know who just wants to be happy, their only purpose is to be happy, no other purpose, they just want to be happy, are people who suffer from depression and end up becoming drug addicts because they just want to get high and feel happy. You should probably find an actual constructive, useful purpose in life rather than the empty, hollow pursuit of happiness for the sake of happiness.
And hopefully spread some of that happiness to others.
Oh, you're doing a great job of making me happy. Nothing makes me happier than going on YouTube and seeing some woman crying about men are objectifying me instead of loving me for my mind. Wah! Because God knows that just makes my fucking day. I love hearing how my sex are a bunch of bad guys because we like boobs more than women whining about shit. Yeah, that makes me real fucking happy. Thanks.
Happiness often occur with respect, you know. This dude, for example. Fuck you. Okay? Want to elaborate that? So that we can have a, a discussion like the two grown-ass adults we are? No? You're good? Okay. I don't want to be liked because I have boobs. I have a fucking brain too, you know.
Ah, so you want to be loved for your brain. Well, let's talk about your brain. Your brain is childish and immature. Your brain is obsessed with people looking at you. You want people to look at you and praise you. That's your brain. That's what you think should be respected? Your brain is very childish. It's very narcissistic and self absorbed. It can't handle criticism, even very polite criticism from a guy who was your fan. I mean, I don't know the guy, but you said he commented on your other videos and said, "You're so pretty." So he's one of your fans. And the moment he even politely, just politely disagrees, or politely says, "Well, I like the way your hair was before," and he's not even being insulting, and you're having a little tantrum about it. That's your brain. I'm sorry, but right now your brain is the last part of you I'm respecting. Your brain is actually offensive. You're being childish, and you're hiding your childishness behind the facade of a political statement like feminism. That's your brain. Well, believe me, there's nothing there worth respecting. Now, maybe one day you will mature and get over this stupid bullshit and have a brain worth respecting. That's just it. You don't get automatic respect just because you have opinions. I mean, the KKK has opinions. We don't respect their brains. We don't respect their opinions. Oh, but they have opinions. You don't get automatic praise and respect just for having opinions. Try having opinions that aren't stupid and childish.
This is objectification of me, and I'm not fucking having it. I'm sorry I had to start this video without any kind of intro, but a girl just talking, that's boring. Whip out your tits, will ya? I'll leave.
See, this is just really insulting crap. The moment you get the least bit, the least bit of criticism, this is how you're acting. Oh, you just love me for my tits. You don't respect me for my mind, you male pigs. You just want my tits. You're objectifying me. Wah! Respect my mind. Wah! How can we respect your mind when you're crying like a little baby because you can't handle someone politely disagreeing that your new haircut looks better? I mean, come on. If you want to be respected, you need to change your attitude and become a person who is worthy of respect. Have opinions that aren't stupid and childish, like, you're objectifying me. Stop having those stupid opinions. I assure you, men can respect you if you give good, proper opinions rather than childish, man hating bullshit.
Leave this video on a positive note though, because the positive response I got on that video, badass. Thank you guys for all of your support and for respecting my opinion and my courage.
Respecting your opinion. Apparently, you can't respect the opinions of your audience because a guy politely says he thinks your hair looked better before, and you have a fucking tantrum over it. And basically, the point of your last few videos are, how dare you have opinions? I didn't ask for your opinions. I didn't ask you for your opinions. You're not respecting the opinions of your audience, but you think your audience should respect your opinion. I'm sorry, but it's a two-way street. And as far as you speaking out was an act of courage, no. It was an act of childish whining because you couldn't handle even the politest disagreement. Don't call it courage. Now, speaking of respect, let's take a look at something you've made on your channel that I do respect. Your cover of Jolene by Dolly Parton. I'd never heard the song before, but I was looking at your channel just trying to get a feel for what kind of videos you make, and I seen that you did a cover of a song. So I clicked on it and listened and thought it was pretty good, and decided to check out the original, which apparently was done by Dolly Parton. I didn't know that. I heard her version, and well, Dolly's version is better, but it's Dolly Parton. You know, she did have an absolutely terrific voice. And I listened to your version again, and you know what? You really can sing very good. Here, let me just play a clip of you singing Jolene. This is a really great performance from you.
I had to have this talk with you. My happiness depends on you and whatever you decide to do, Jolene. And you could have your choice of men, but I could never love again, 'cause he's the only one for me, Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
That was a great cover. Your voice is very beautiful, and you are very beautiful. And I've seen some of your other videos of you singing, and you have potential to be a star. You should do more, instead of being a whiny excuse-making feminist blaming her failure and lack of trying on men. And I'll get into what I mean by that in just a little bit. So let's recap what this is all about. You made a video about your haircut. One of your fans who had previously commented on how beautiful you were politely said he preferred you with long hair. You read that comment and it inspired you to make a video called "Why Do You Even Care?", where you had a tantrum like a narcissistic child who can't handle criticism. People gave your temper tantrum video a low rating. Again, rather than accepting that you made a fool of yourself whining about people's comments on your hair, you decided to take it to the next level and go all feminist, claiming that you as a woman are being objectified because your stupid, whiny opinions aren't being respected. Dear God, woman, you're such a narcissistic brat. A YouTuber named Bearing seen your feminism video and made fun of you. You then made a video responding to him, hiding behind the dictionary definition of feminism, effectively saying, see, the dictionary says feminism is all about equality, so nanny nanny boo boo, I don't hate men. You have failed to address the fact that your entire rant about being objectified was nothing more than a self-absorbed childish tantrum because you can't handle people not agreeing with you. I think you are beautiful and you have a great voice. You have so much potential, and yet I can already see you going down the road of feminist excuse-making. Feminists love to blame their failure and their lack of trying on some patriarchal conspiracy. They blame men and patriarchy on them just not trying, not improving themselves, not working on themselves, or just for whatever reason being a failure. They keep blaming it on men rather than themselves. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Let me tell you about women using men or blaming men for their failure. Let me give you some examples here. A woman may be insecure about her own abilities and not want to take risks and chances, so she plays it safe. When she goes to college, she goes for some really stupid degree like a liberal arts degree or a degree in gender studies, something like that, something that's very easy to pass and yet has no real practical application. So when she graduates, she's not really qualified to do anything. Then she'll sit around bitching that men make more money than women. I mean, she could have been a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or something that paid really good money. but she didn't want to have to, actually try to go be a medical doctor or try to be an engineer. That's very difficult. There's a high chance of failure. It's incredibly expensive. It's a very risky thing to do. So she's shy and scared and afraid and insecure and chooses something easy and simple to pass. That's why men are making the big dollars and women are making small dollars. But they'll blame it on men. They'll say, oh, there's a gender pay gap. Well, the pay gap is men trying harder and working harder, accomplish more in life, and get more pay for it. Women, being afraid and insecure, play it safe and have nice, safe jobs that don't really pay much money. And that's the pay discrimination is women's choices. Women make safe, easy choices. But rather than taking responsibility for this, they blame men like there's a patriarchal conspiracy to oppress them with small paychecks. Here's another example. The fat acceptance movement, body positivity, the feminists call it. Now look, I'm against fat shaming because if someone's overweight, why even mention it? Like if you're at a store and some fat guy starts walking down the aisle, why make a comment? Why laugh at him? Why make fun of him even in private to your friends? Why? Why pick on the guy or the girl for being fat? It's stupid. So I'm totally against fat shaming. But this body positivity thing, it takes it to a whole new level. Body positivity suggests that being a really big fat person is just as sexy and attractive as being thin and shapely. Nice round butt, nice big, perky, firm breasts, and a thin little waist. Yeah, that's no more sexy than being, really fat. It's just that the media has created Western standards of beauty to apparently make men think thin women are more attractive than fat women. This is nonsense. Men find women attractive based upon men's instinctive, involuntary, inborn nature. His instinctive nature to mate tells him what is and isn't attractive. And I'm not saying that there aren't guys who go after fat women. I'm just saying the overwhelming majority of men go after the so-called Western standards of beauty, which isn't a choice. It's based on a man's instincts. And all of this whining and bitching about men objectifying women for their bodies and Western standards of beauty, wanting women who are thin and young, you know, all this excuse making and man blaming and man shaming is all based on fat bitches who don't want to put down the cupcakes and the Twinkies, go on a diet, get off their ass and start working out and lose some weight. Rather than doing the adult thing, which is to moderate your intake of calories, to have a good diet and to exercise, rather than doing that, they'd rather sit on their fat asses and bitch on their blogs about body acceptance and how men are pigs because, patriarchal Western standards of beauty, blah, blah, blah. It's easier to bitch at men than to just lose the fucking weight. So that's another example of women just blaming men for their own fuck-ups. You claim that you want to be more than eye candy. You're like, oh, I have a brain too. Okay, well, why don't you use your brain? I take a look at so many of your videos. Let me restart this. I take a look at your channel and I take a look at the subject material that most of your videos are about. I would say that most of your videos involve the way you look. Your glasses, your tattoos, your piercings, your wigs, your haircuts, all this stuff, your makeup routine. This is all based on look at me, look at my physical appearance. So most of your stuff is all about the way you look. That's the theme of your channel is look at me and look at the way I look. Then you complain, oh, I've got a brain too. Well, then maybe your channel should consist of something that really shows off your brain. Why don't you make a huge video series about history? Like, tell us all about Rome, the rise and fall of Rome. Tell us about the Egyptian Empire, the Chinese dynasty. Since you're Norwegian, tell people the history of Norway. Do a long video series on the history of something. Be educational. Show us you got a brain and use it. I mean, the least you could do is just read Wikipedia out loud. I mean, you could at least pull that off. It wouldn't make you smart, but it would kind of lean in that direction. Um, make videos about technical stuff, technology and computers. Make videos about that. I mean, there's so many topics you can do. But when I go to YouTube, what I see is, and this is something I've noticed, is most girls do have their channels being about. They act like their YouTube channel is a Dear Diary, or it's look at my fashion, look at what's in my bag. It's like they're 25-year-old women doing show and tell. Oh, look what I bought. It's at Sephora. Look at this makeup. Oh, look at these perfumes. And it's all about their cosmetics, their looks, their fashion, or it's just them talking about their day, the unimportant and nonsensical crap within their day. When it comes to something like, how to hack a flash drive or something like that, it's always a guy doing it. And it's not because there's a patriarchal conspiracy. It's because girls are interested in the way things look and makeup and cosmetics and pointless gossip about their day, and men are more into technology and intelligent things. If you think this should be different, well then take a stand and make it different. Make your channel about technology. Make your channel a history channel. Make your channel about smart stuff and quit making videos involving the way you look. You said earlier, why do you even care about my hair? Well, I don't know. Why are you making a video about your freaking hair? Because personally, I don't care about your hair. Make a video about Alexander the Great and shut the fuck up about your haircut. What I'm saying here is you're doing something very similar to the woman who got a degree in something stupid, then complains she doesn't make as much as an engineer, or the fat woman who would rather blame men for liking thin women than to just lose weight and be healthy. You're doing something very similar. You have not consistently put up enough videos based on intelligent topics to say, I've got a brain, respect me for my brain. What you've done is you've put up a bunch of videos of you doing cover songs. You've put up a few videos about your dog. You've put up a few videos about miscellaneous stuff. But you've put up a lot of videos about your wigs and your tattoos and your hair and all that stupid stuff. And then say, I've got a brain, respect me for my brain. And you're saying that in response to people not liking that video where you whined like a child about some guy didn't like your new haircut, so you had a fucking tantrum like a child, and then you turn around and go, oh, respect me for my opinion. Oh, I can have boobs, that's great, but oh, how dare I as a woman have an opinion? Don't do that stupid crap. Stop blaming men because you were acting childish and people didn't like it. Stop blaming men because you don't really have a channel based on intelligence. You've never shown off your intelligence, but then you expect to be credited for having a brain. Well, every living human being who isn't in a fucking coma has a brain that is in use. That doesn't mean everybody's smart. So if you want to be respected for your brain, well then make videos involving smart stuff and stop blaming men. Stop blaming men for objectifying you. That's how you get out of it. Rather than doing a lot of really technical stuff, you would rather just show off your various haircuts and wigs and then say men objectify me because they don't respect me for my brain. No. Go out and do something smart and maybe people will. You remember earlier in the video when I said that if you want gender equality, then you should be fighting for men to have more rights because women have the advantages, men are the disadvantaged sex. Well, let me give you a list I made up. It's not a complete list. It's just whatever came to my head over the last 10 minutes. Here are some examples of disadvantages that men have that feminists aren't really trying to do anything about. 1. A woman can be broke and still get a date with no problem. A man without money has a very hard time getting a girl to fall in love with him. 2. Men have no say in the reproductive process. A woman can choose to have an abortion. The father has no say in this. She can then make the man pay for the child that he never wanted. 3. Women almost always get child custody in divorce or in a breakup. Western society sees children as people who belong to their mother, not their father. 4. Women have always been exempt from being drafted into war, and in most countries today, they still are exempt. 5. If a man and a woman both get drunk and have sex, and both regret it the next day, the man can be charged with rape, since society believes only women lose their ability to give lawful consent when they're drunk. And this is specifically due to feminism. 6. Because women have a lower sex drive, they can sit by passively while men approach them. Because men have a higher sex drive, he is obligated to approach women and do all the flirting. And likewise, a man is expected to persuade women into sex. Due to human sexual dynamics consisting of men being more sexually desperate and women more sexually passive, she can sit back while a man uses all of his charm and repeated efforts to get her to give him sex. Ergo, women control the mating and dating game. In relationships and sex, women hold all the power. 7. Laws against rape are increasing in their definition of what constitutes rape. These laws are expanding in a way that favor women, making normal human mating behavior more criminal. 8. A woman can dress in provocative clothing and then have men sued, arrested, or fired for looking at her if his looking at her was done in a way that made her feel uncomfortable. 9. Thanks to feminist efforts, the laws are skewed in favor of women in cases of domestic violence. Police assume the man to be guilty until proven innocent. If a woman hits her husband, the husband knows better than to call the cops because the cops will probably arrest him, not her. This is exclusively a problem caused by the feminist movement. 10. 75% of all violent assault victims in America are men. I don't know what the statistics are in Norway. Admittedly, this is mostly men doing the violence, but still, we are 75% of the time the victim. Yet, feminists only cry about violence against women, in spite of the fact that violence mostly happens against men. 11. Feminists complain about men objectifying them. But what about women objectifying men? Go to any dating site and look at all the women who refuse to date men under 6 feet tall. These women are valuing a man for his height. They are literally measuring a man's worth in inches and centimeters. But if a guy likes large breasts, you will call him a pig and exclaim that he is objectifying women. Yet I have never heard a feminist complain about women judging men by their wallet or their height. If you really want to prove that you're not some crazy man-hater, because that was the point of the video that you made that I'm responding to. If you want to prove that you're not a man-hater, well then how about this? This all started when you made a video showing off your boobage or boob skin, whatever. It got very popular, go figure. And then you made another video where you were whining. So you basically had a temper tantrum. And you're complaining that, oh, when I show off my boobs and don't offend anyone by being a whiny child, I get lots of ratings and lots of views. But when I have whiny opinions and have a tantrum, well, no one wants to watch it, and those who do give me a low rating. You use this to say, see, I'm being objectified. As a woman, I'm being objectified. All right, so you know what? Here's what you do. Make another video where you denounce the objectification of men. Since you've already done a video about women being objectified, which you weren't being objectified, not from that example. But anyhow, make a video denouncing the objectification of men. Make a video where you tell women it is wrong for them to prefer men who are tall because that's objectifying men. It's measuring their worth by their height. I mean, it's literally measuring a man's worth with a tape measure, okay? So tell women to stop preferring men who are tall, because that's objectification. And toss in there, men are people, not wallets. Stop seeking out men who have money, and stop seeking out men who are tall, because it's inappropriate and it's objectification. Go on, make that video. Denounce the objectification of men. If you refuse to do that, then you've basically proven you're just sexist.